Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You know me, I'm the Mark of the Master, the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some Tna Impact, 11, 14, 13. Now, really quickly, guys, I want to jump into something on a personal level. I want to thank my brothers at Tna Mecca, www.tnamecca.com. It's a website that myself and my brother from the North, Mr. Corbeil, have been producing the CANAM Wrestling Show on a weekly basis every Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Well, the fact is that me and Andre have decided to move on, and we will be producing this content, and it will be on at two locations. Number one, Andre Corbeil's YouTube page. You find, just whatever you do, use your search engine, you can find Andre Corbeil YouTube, and you'll be able to subscribe to his page, and that content will be up every single week. Or on Facebook, go to Wrestling News Talk. Guys, I'm going to give you more information as to when the CANAM Wrestling Show will be back. It will be back in full force. But I got to tell you guys real quick, OneWrestling.com is my favorite website, but I got to tell you, TNAMecca.com. If you guys are a TNA fan, they're fantastic writers, fantastic fan interaction, and I really, really, really respect them very much so. And if I need to find out anything about TNA, I actually will go to TNAMecca.com. So guys, thank you so much. I want to thank Mr. TNA. I want to thank Chris. I want to thank everybody out there in TNA Mecca land. The CANAM Wrestling Show is gone for now, but not dead. It will be back very shortly. In a week or maybe 2 weeks time, I will give you some information next week regarding when and where the CANAM Wrestling Show will be back. So guys, again, TNA Mecca, thank you so much for the opportunity, and we're going to move on to the Impact recap. Ladies and gentlemen, a whole hell of a lot of stuff happened tonight. We're going to quickly jump off. The night basically starts off where we have a video package of Austin Aries and Kurt Angle coming into the match, coming to the arena. Now, tonight they have a submission match, and this will basically, you know, we'll see who moves on to the next round of the title tournament. So the Aces and Eights now hit the ring, and Bully Ray comes and he starts talking about how he's treating the fans like puppets. And I gotta be honest with you, he's caught me out there a couple of times. Come on, guys, let me ask you guys a question. Leave your comments here below, OneWrestling.com or YouTube /OneWrestling video. When they were all in the ring and they were doing the vote and everybody was taking off their cut, come on, he had you and he had me. All right, I mean the truth is, it is what it is. But you know what? If I'm a puppet, then I'm a freaking puppet. But he continues to cut that promo, and then he starts talking crap about Mr. Anderson. Well, Mr. Anderson comes out immediately, and Mr. Anderson proposes something really interesting to Bully Ray. He says, Bully, if I beat you next week at the free pay-per-view, then the Aces and Eights will have to disband. Will have to fall apart. Cannot be a faction anymore. But if I lose, I go home to my pregnant wife. Bully Ray finds this appeasing. He actually agrees. And then Bully Ray takes it one step further and says, you know what? I would like to take your pregnant wife and pile drive her, which drives Mr. Anderson bonkers. Mr. Anderson goes into the ring, and Bully Ray grabbed the chair, but Mr. Anderson is able to fight everyone off. Mr. Anderson challenges one of the members of the Aces and Eights, and Bully Ray, as the president, chooses Knux. Listen, pretty decent fight, hard-hitting fight. Mr. Anderson was knocked down several times, but showed a lot of heart, got back up. Mr. Anderson, towards the end of the match, was hit with two huge clotheslines, about to get hit with a third clothesline, but he was able to duck and hit the mic check for the 1, 2, 3. Mr. Anderson goes over, then he takes that microphone, and he says, the winner and the person who will beat Bully Ray's ass next week, Mr. Anderson. Well, we cut over to an Impact 365 video where we have Joseph Park, and he challenges Christopher Daniels to a match. And Christopher Daniels is backstage with Kaz, and they're basically, well, kind of mocking him. They basically said how, you know, well, Daniel says how Joseph Park is putting on his big boy pants, but they continue to talk about the television title. Let me explain. Daniel says that he will take out Joseph Park, and he called him a pancake. They're hilarious. And then he says he will beat Park, and then he will find Abyss, and then he will find the television title. Are they going to bring this title back? I do not think, I do not feel, again, my opinion, that TNA needs the television title. What do you guys think? Leave your comments here below. I think they're fine with the World Heavyweight title, the X Division title, and the World Tag Team title. There is no need for a secondary title. Again, my opinion. But the bad influence then move on. They find Bobby Roode, and they start getting all giddy and happy about their brand new t-shirts. So we have Joseph Park in a match versus Christopher Daniels, and Park fought really hard in this match. But the fact is that Joseph Park continues to get frustrated. He was frustrated to the point where the referee is trying to back him off during the match. And Joseph Park, actually, this is one of the matches that I felt that he had a lot of offense. And the referee's trying to push him back to create some space. And Joseph Park pushes the referee. Referee unable to see Christopher Daniels hitting the low blow. Daniels able to cover Joseph Park for the 1-2-3. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Daniels defeats Joseph Park. And I'm going to ask you this question again. Guys, do they really need to bring back that television title? It's a beautiful title. It was what it was. Obviously, it was the Legends title. Then it was the Global title. Guys, I don't think they need it. We move on. We have Ethan Carter III, Mr. EC3, and he is in a handicap, in his toughest challenge, a handicap match versus the incomparable Norv Turner and Dewey Barnes. Yes, Norv and Dewey are back. I gotta tell you, Dewey, at one point in the match with a beautiful somersault backflipping tag in, Norv Turner with flying drop kicks and flying body presses, not enough. EC3 is able to hit both competitors with the 1% of the front face DDT for the 1-2-3. Gets the mic and says, "We're Carters. The world needs us." Anyway, we move on. We go to a video package of AJ Styles defending his title in Mexico AAA Wrestling. Again, really digging this. I cannot wait to see him take it to Japan. I cannot wait to see him take it to freaking I hope he takes it. I hope he takes it to England. I love the British fans. Scotland, take it to Barcelona. They have a big wrestling organization over there. Take it around the world, AJ. Now, Dixie Carter is extremely pissed off. She's backstage watching on the monitors, and she can't figure out how the hell this stuff keeps getting aired. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a quick question. Think about this. How is this stuff getting aired? Now, is it possible that maybe behind Dixie Carter's back, her mother, or maybe the board, has decided to already sell TNA without really fully letting Dixie know? Maybe there's someone who's controlling things backstage, and maybe Dixie doesn't really have full control of TNA the way she thinks. Possible? You guys tell me. Leave your comments here below. Just something to think about, guys. But Dixie Carter comes into the ring. She basically cuts a promo, and she rips AJ Styles. It was a long promo, so I'm not going to get into every single thing she said. Let's just leave it like this. She rips AJ Styles. She brings in the tournament participants. She brings in Bobby Roode and James Storm. And next week, James Storm versus Bobby Roode will be an old-fashioned bull rope match. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, next week will be an old-fashioned bull rope match. I gotta be honest, next week is actually looking to be a really, really good show. I can't wait to review it. We're gonna move on, and we have and I'm not gonna get into this match too quick. The only thing I'm gonna say is Hannah Blossom. I think she's pretty hot. But Gail Kim fought. She got into the match with Hannah Blossom, and she's able to go over with the 1-2-3, hitting the Eat Defeat, and we move on from there. And we have Joseph Park. Joseph Park comes to the ring. And Joseph Park talks about how, you know, how he came to Impact Wrestling to find his brother. He starts thanking everyone and thanking everyone for their support. And then he starts to say to himself, you know, I can't believe I'm going to do this. He starts saying, yeah, you only live once. And then he proceeds to challenge his brother Abyss to a match next week. How the hell are they going to pull this off? I mean, are they going to get somebody that looks just like Abyss? Come on. We know Joseph Park is Abyss. I am really interested, and again, this is something that is pulling me into watching next week. I am interested to see how they're going to pull this one off. Joseph Park, will he be able to defeat his brother Abyss? Will he even have a match? Will Bad Influence actually come in and interrupt the match before it even happens? Will Joseph Park reveal himself as Abyss? So many questions, but interesting. Didn't expect this. Really cool. Now, we're going to move on to the main event of the evening, and this was one hell of a match, a great match. Austin Aries versus Kurt Angle in a submission match. Now, towards the end of the match, we have Austin Aries, and he goes for a 450 splash off the top rope, but he actually lands, Kurt Angle move, he lands awkwardly on his ankle, hurting his ankle. Now, I thought, obviously, Kurt Angle was going to go for the ankle lock. Kurt Angle tries to hit him with an Olympic slam. Aries is able to avoid the slam, and he actually gets Kurt in his finisher, his submission finisher. I think it's called the Chancellery. I can't even say it, but he puts him in his submission finisher. Angle is able to get out. Kurt Angle then goes for the... Austin Aries at one point is able to go for a brainbuster. Kurt Angle is able to push or get out of the brainbuster, push Austin Aries face first into the top turnbuckle. Angle then points at Bobby Roode, who was a spectator during this match, and Kurt Angle puts Austin Aries in the crossface, and Austin Aries taps out. Dude, I did not expect. I actually thought Austin Aries was going to move on in this tournament, but if you think logically, Kurt Angle has been being that whole feud between Bobby Roode and Kurt Angle has really been heating up. Now, what I'm starting to believe is that the finals of the tournament will be Bobby Roode versus Kurt Angle, and I actually see Bobby Roode winning this title, which would basically set him up in a champion versus champion match versus AJ Styles. Would you guys be willing to see that? Really cool. Now, the show's about to go off the air. We have Mike, Tna, and Taz, and they're basically putting over next week's free pay-per-view, and Mr. Anderson's music hits, and Mr. Anderson drags Garrett Bischoff to the ramp, sets him up and hits him with a pile driver on the steel ramp, takes the vest, rips it off of Garrett Bischoff, little retribution, and all this is happening while Kurt Angle is in a stare down with Bobby Roode. Ladies and gentlemen, this next week I think is going to be one hell of a show. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us here every single week at OneWrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. You can follow us on Twitter at OneWrestling. You can follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I want to thank TNA Mecca. And again, the CANAM Wrestling Show will ride again. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Guys, I will see you here next week. I say this every single week, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I would do this for a living, but if I can't, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Oh, and by the way, the CANAM Wrestling Show won't just be TNA content. We'll also be covering some WWE stuff too. Tell me what you guys think about that. Are you guys happy that we're back? I'm happy to be back. Thank you for all your support. You guys know that my mother-in-law has been sick in the hospital. You guys have been tweeting me, sending me private messages, emails. I really appreciate it, guys. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I do this because I love it. And my brother from the North, Andre Corbeil, does it because he loves it. He has passion for the business. I'm taught by one of the best in the business, Bill Apter. And that guy is passionate. He loves wrestling, and I love talking wrestling. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you next week for your TNA Impact recap. It's going to be one hell of a show, bro. Talk to you next week. Peace. Duck, man, duck.